You knew the summer wasn't gonna end without the Go dropping. This is Gordo from his new album, All DSPs. This is Gordo featuring Drake, Healing. Let's get it. This is something different. Nothing worse than going through a heartbreak during the summer. And no better artist to tell you how it feels than Drake. Let's get it.
I came out tonight and I wanna go home. I'd rather spend some time on my own. I can't stand small talk, nobody's real. I look okay, but that's just not how I feel. I said some things I should have said more. My words weren't right, your jaw hit the floor.
Oh, is that the best? That's the best, man. When like, oh my God, when you say some shit and your girl just stays there quiet, like, oh, what the fuck? Like, she's telling you how she loved you and this and that. She was always there for you. And then you tell her, well, when I needed you the most, you weren't there. And then her fucking jaw just drops. Like, yeah, that's facts. Like, you know what I'm saying? But don't hold back. In a fight, you never hold back. You're respectful, right? You never call out you never call someone out of their name ever in a fight. But fellas, you get your point across though. And I think a lot of times that's why guys always lose fights with women. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna give you the key to winning a fight. And it's not about winning, because at the end of the day, it's you don't want to hurt your partner, right? But sometimes you gotta get your point across. In order to do that, you gotta be very firm in your statements and very careful with what you're saying. Not careful in the sense that you're not gonna say what you feel, because you're always gonna say what you feel. That's how you resolve things. But it's how you say things. See, for instance, if I tell somebody, yo, like, you've been treating me like shit, I feel like you're not. When I need you the most, you're not there, right? Boom, I said that, right? It hurts her, but you get the point across. Now, if I say the same thing, I say, yo, I feel like you're never there for me, and that's kind of a bitch move because I've always been there for you, and that's kind of fucked up because that kind of shows what kind of piece of shit person you are. Cool. I pretty much just said the same thing as the first time, right? Except I use things like piece of shit and fucked and things like that, right? So it's all about terminology, right? Get your point across, and you can get a girl to get hurt, you know? Now, this sounds very toxic, but it's not. Sometimes, you know, Drake understands. Like, there's nothing worse than, like, being heartbroken in the fucking summer when you're just trying to vibe out and then, like, you can't. Like you're outside and you just want to go home. Like, there's nothing worse when you're on the way to the club or to the bar or to a lounge. And once you get there, the first thought in your head was, like, I want to go home already. Like, that shit fucking sucks. There's nothing worse than that. And there's certain artists that always say that they can give you, like, the rapper gives you obviously the rapping, R&B, jazz, country, rock, right? But there's those few artists in history that are on living, like right now, that can hit every scope, right? That is obviously Aubrey Graham, also known as Drake, also known as the greatest of all time, also known as the guy who's been dominant for the last 15 years in the motherfucking music business. So, with that being said, remember since the whole Kendrick thing happened, he put up the Samurai that put one Samurai versus 1,000. He said Summer Vibes up next. This record is a great record. I love this record. Is it a hit? I would say yes. But it's not a hit in the States. And by States, I mean America. And by that, you say, well, why are you being specific when you come to saying that? Well, the reason I say that is because it's one thing for a record to work overseas, and this record will work overseas, but not in the States. Now, I have intel that someone's has told me that Drake is coming in fall or winter with an album, but he's gonna flood the market, and this is just the beginning, right? More music is to come, is what I'm saying. More music is to come, right? Obviously, I wasn't saying there's another leak, but that's not really a leak because Yachty went on the Andrew Schultz podcast, Fragrant 2, and he dropped the song of SOD Super Soak with Yachty and Drake. That record's fucking amazing. But it's music now coming out consistently, right? Boom, boom, boom. This is the summer vibe. This is for the overseas. I believe he's going to drop a song just for the United States, like a nasty-ass song. And then the whole rollout's going to begin about him going to, obviously, to roll out the new album. Now, what better way? Man, every time I hear this type of music, all I'm going to say is all I want to be is in a beach with the drink in my hand, with the girl, right, having a good time, no drama. I know women bring drama, but if you didn't bring drama, oh, women will go on every trip with me. Every fucking trip with me. Oh, if you just paid your cards right. Spend money and make memories. Just so I can heal. Even if you're not the one, just so I can heal for a second, for 2 weeks with you.
I came out tonight and I wanna go home. I'd rather spend some time on my own.
hey, fella, isn't that the worst? Where you're in a fight and like you remember all the shit you wanted to say, but you're not in the fight anymore. You can almost like time travel back for like 5 minutes just to say the last little like nudge of like what you want to say. Like, yeah, and that's why your mother never loved you. Boom, and then you walk out the door. You walk out the door after that. You just walk out, boom, boom, and then that's it. It's over. Oh man, this type of music, I will always be a sucker for this music. And the reason you say, well, why isn't this music hits anymore in the States? Well, I feel like it was at one point, like when Drake came out with Views, with Controlla, One Dance. If you remember, Unforgettable with Sway Lee and what's it called? And French Montana. That was 2015. It was a great summer. I always remember that summer. But the thing is, like, I don't think that is so dominant for you to have hits like that anymore. Can it? Maybe, yes, but I love Gordo. But Gordo's like, you really have to know who Gordo is. And Drake obviously has that power, but not enough. Like, this record's good, but is it as good as One Dance? No. Or Controlla? No. So it's going to be hard to get. Drake almost has to make that type of same level of record for it to be a hit again. Does that make sense? Like, that record, then will be a hit again. Oh, man. But the reason I start with Drake today is because Drake is going to be the beginning of the podcast, but that is going to be a sports-heavy-ass podcast from the Euro final. Mbappe signing official, well, making the present. Already signed Real Madrid, but making obviously the presentation. So I want to start with Drake because after that we're on a full sports podcast. We're going to end with the House of Dragons episode 4 and 5. It's going to be a hell of a podcast. Y'all going to have fun. We're all going to have fun. But you got to start off with the Drake, right? I think because the Euro ended in a way where me and my brother were discussing many times, you don't really see those things where the best team that plays the best wins. And Spain did that. And I guess thinking, well, you said England would win. I said England thought would win if they play at their best, right? But we'll get into more later. Oh, nothing worse when the girl's trying to talk to you at the lounge or club and you don't want to hear that. You hear her? You always trying to fuck off in the nicest way possible, but you know how to do it. So he dropped this record. And then Yachty decided to then go on the Flagrant podcast and drop this record. And this gets to be a bigger discussion because obviously, actually, hold on, let me just introduce the podcast real quick. Real quick. This is Jovany Ventura Show, the greatest motherfucking podcast out here. Not even close. Maybe that means I'm some cocky shit, but I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. This is episode 32 of the Jovany Ventura Show. I'm glad to be back. I missed y'all. So much things to talk about. We're gonna talk more shit later on too. Don't worry about it. We got a packed house. I'm watching the moves playing it close. Shout out to Drake. It's how you come back. And like I said, that little information of Birdie told me that more music's coming. So that means the next week we're also talking more about Drake. This is how you do it, man. Got to pay attention to the greatest of all time to make the moves. This is Drake featuring Yachty, SOD Super Soak. Dropped in the Flagrant 2 podcast. Shout out to Andrew Schultz. Shout out to Yachty. Hey. This record is crazy. Those who've been here, those who've been there. Anything better than falling in love with a hoe. Oh, shout out to the hoes in the world. We love you.
I'm watching the moves playing it close. SOD, Super Soak. Rainy days, his and hers, matching coat. Jet so big, feel like a boat, staying afloat.
Oh my God, when we with the girl and she's a squirter, oh my Lord. Bless the Lord himself who decided to make women that could do that. You know what? Because that's that. You know, certain women were created by God. I believe those women were created by God. I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. I truly believe those women were created by God. Girls who like Party Next Door were created by God. Girls who like Drake, dark ass music were created by God. And girls who squirt, like, they're all in the same playing field. They're all playing basketball together. 5-on-5. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Oh, and it's called Super Suck the song. You know what? Bring it back. I gotta bring it back because this song, I don't think you understand. Once again, this song is on everywhere. This song is not on DSPs. This is on SoundCloud, on YouTube, Twitter, where you can download this shit because this shit might be up because this shit is going everywhere. It's on my TikToks. It's every fucking where. This record is crazy. Yo. Shout out to Yachty. Yachty's been fucking killing us in A&R for Drake. Just saying. We're breaking this shit down is what I'm saying.
I'm watching the moves playing it close. SOD, Super Soak. Rainy days, his and hers, matching coat. Jet so big, feel like a boat, staying afloat. I'm I'm watching the moves and playing it close. SOD, super soap. She was a hoe, but I ain't gon' judge, cause that was way before.
Never judge the girl for being a hoe before. What the, oh my God. All right, ladies, don't worry, I got this. I got this. Ladies, I got this. Okay, fellas, two things. You never ask a girl about her past. Never. I don't know why the fuck some of y'all do that. That shit's weird. And for all you men who say, I don't do that shit, I'm not insecure, fuck out of here. Most of the girls that I talked, I would say I talk more to women than I talk to men. Cool. All the women, I hope you know, women are better at hiding shit. So, mind you, they will expose you. They just won't be as loud as guys are, right? So, all the guys who ever asked a girl about their body counts, what they've done sexually, this and that, trust me, the guy they talk to or their friends, they know. They know. And I think that shit is weird. The fact that when you're trying to have sex with a girl, the first thing that comes into your mind is another dick that went inside her, that's crazy to me. Like, that just sounds crazy to me. Like, that is just the craziest thing. Like, I don't understand the logic behind that. Like, what like, okay, for instance, okay, an example. Let's say, I don't know, whatever low number is to you. So let's say, like, I'm obviously 30 years old. So let's say a low number to me would be like 10, right? Or 5, whatever. I don't even know. I don't want to have this discussion, but I'm just a quick thing. So let's say 10 is for me is a low number, right? Cool, awesome. So when you ask that, like, what do you get out of knowing that? I guess that's my question for all the guys who ask. What do you get out of knowing? You get me? So if it's like a low number, you think, oh, that's awesome. That means not to make guys hit it. Cool. I get that part, right? But then also it's like, I mean, I don't know. Because you always say, like, the homeless phrase is always, like, oh, she's a hoe, you know, wife her, and if she isn't. Yeah, but who the fuck wants a girl who's, like, not saying she's a hoe or anything, but, like, who the hell wants to be with a girl that you have to teach her how to, like, do things? Like, that's just weird. Like, that makes me uncomfortable. Like, if you're, like, for guys who are uncomfortable with a girl that has too many bodies, I feel uncomfortable with a girl that has not enough bodies. Like, that, like, I don't want to be in a situation where I have to teach you how to do, like, that sounds weird. Like, that feels and sounds weird. You get me? Like, at 30 years old, the girl shouldn't be 30 and still, like, I don't know. That's crazy. I just think, like, if the girl's a virgin at 30, like, I think that's kind of crazy. Like, and I would even ask, like, why? I would just ask, and not like in a bad way. I would just ask, like, oh, why? Like, is it a certain reason? Like, for instance, I always remember this guy in high school, and guy in college. He sure out said, like, he's waiting for, like, marriage, and that I understood because you could tell, like, he was serious about it, and I totally understood where he came from. And I'm like, okay, so when he said it, no one clowned him because you could tell. I mean, we make jokes here and there, but even then, it was like we understood, like, that's something he took. Then there was another guy. Right, super insecure. We could tell it. What he said, "Oh, I'm waiting until marriage." He wasn't. He just couldn't get women, so his excuse was that, like, he was waiting. That was all bullshit. We all knew it was bullshit. The other guy we knew was true. This other dude, he was lying, obviously, right? But my thing is, why ask? And like Drake says, if she was a hoe, who am I to judge? One, I wouldn't judge, and two, it's like, I don't know. I think it's like, what? Like, I'm not, like, if I like somebody, I like somebody. I'm not gonna ask you who you been with. Oh, I will say this. And you're saying, oh, shit, Jovany, you're just going to contradict yourself. I'm not going to contradict myself. I don't give a fuck who you've been with, what you've done. If I like you, I like you. Cool. Obviously, if you have, like, you should disclose if you have something that's just common sense. I'm just putting it out there, right? Safety reasons, okay. That's what I'm talking about. But what I am saying is, okay, in this situation, particularly, let's say I don't care who you've been with, whatever, right? But what I will say is, though, if you know you've been with somebody, don't introduce them to me or lie to me and be like, oh, that's a friend, and you have me around this person. Like, don't do that either. Does that make sense? Like, I think that's fucked up. You get me? Like, don't have me be talking to this dude who's, like, let's say a part of the friend group, and me and him are pretty cool, and we keep talking, and then later on you want to tell me, oh, this and this happened. No, don't do that. If you know you did something with somebody, don't bring them around me. Like, I don't care who it was. Like, whatever you did, what you did, that's fine. Like, I'm not even gonna judge you. Like, it's not like oh my god, you did this and this. No, I don't care what you do with them, right? Whatever. Just don't have me interact with the person, and don't even set up in a scenario where, like, oh, we're just cool with each other. No, fuck no. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's the thing I would ask, and I don't think that's far fetched. I just think it's like just common courtesy, like, fam, like, don't be around the people, like imagine, like, so obviously I'm a guy, like, and we're dating, and imagine I have like 3 friends, quote unquote friends, just acquaintances, right? Because I wouldn't call them friends. But I had sex with them, and we did some crazy shit, whatever it is. And they're coming up to you saying hi, and then you text all of the time because you think you're just cool with them, and that's like a backstory. Then, like, that's fucked up. Like, you're creating a relationship with someone, like, You know, that's what I think is crazy. That I would think like, no, don't do that. Other than that though, information is information. Back to the song though, because the song's already fire. Like we're already, like that's how fire Drake is. Like we're already talking about a great discussion within 40 seconds of this record.
Cleopatra at the pyramid tonight.
Oh, she's at the strip club.
I got bucket seats inside. Roll a backwood with my enemies inside. Hey, okay. Yeah. WhatsApp attachment, first time I seen you naked.
So why is everyone going back on WhatsApp? That's a fact. Is that like the new Snap? Like everyone's on WhatsApp now. Like I remember when I was a kid, all the fucking like Latino parents were on that shit. Now all the young kids are getting on that shit. That's kind of crazy.
Santorini, but you tasting faded. Say it coming home and give me that goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious.
Watching the moves and playing it close. SOD, super soap. Rainy days, his and hers, matching coat. We fuck on a jet, it feel like a boat. Stay in afloat. Yeah. I'm watching the moves and playing it close.
Oh, well, she's a super soaker? Oh my god. Like you even gotta do nothing. As soon as it slips in, just like fucking oceans. Like, fam, I'm sorry. And then women say, yo, why do you love hoes? Like, fam, one, they treat me better. Like, I don't have to cater to them. They cater to me. And they have that. Like, fam, no. Like, I'm sorry. And then they wouldn't be like, oh, why'd you cheat? Well, would you? Like, why didn't I cheat before? Was it a Christian? I'm joking. These are jokes. These are jokes, okay? Some of you take this shit way too serious, and sometimes, like, gets people in trouble. Relax.
Super soap. She was
a hoe, but I ain't gonna judge because I was way before. That's facts. Jovany Ventura never judges. Never. What's wrong with you?
Your little brother look up to me like I'm his only figure. Backseat.
Oh, shout out to Yachty.
Backstroke. 20 times.
Well, Yachty's been killing it with Drake. He did the Her Loss. He was A&R. He does this. Like he's been smoking. But this obviously was a big topic because the reason Yachty said that he wanted to take off of social media was because he said that he was frustrated at the fact that, what did he say? So he put out the song. The song goes crazy, but everyone kept saying, yo, put it out. Then the guy who they sampled for the record said that he's now a Christian and he doesn't like the content of the song, right? That obviously is talking about sex and super something. It's pretty graphic what they're saying. So now that he's a church man, he doesn't think he wants to put it out. Like he would still put out the song. He just says, can we just change some lyrics? And I guess obviously Yachty was never gonna come out because the guy doesn't want to clear it. So fuck it, here you guys could just have it. But obviously there came some backlash like, oh, why would you put it out? What if he changes his mind, X, Y, and Z? Now that is one good argument. I just have more of another argument like, well, what if I mean that's just anybody's art, right? Like if I put out a podcast, right? My podcast. And I think it's a little different where like I've done things where like let's say with friends, well, I've done things where I've shoot or I've shot a podcast and then friends were like, yo, can you edit that out? Or hey, can you like not put that out? I've done that and I have not put it out, right? Like I'll edit shit out. But the thing is also like if it's my content and I still it's tough, which is why I was bringing this up. It's like I've done a really good job of being like an interviewee. So if I get you to open up and you start telling me things and I think it's good content, obviously nothing like crazy, like nothing like something outlandish or some shit like that. I'm just saying like some personal things that sometimes you just talk about like, yo, like at one point I was at a low point and maybe if you want to put that there, like I respect it and you want to edit it, but at the same time it's like it's my content. Like how are you gonna tell me what to do with something I want to put out? And that's kind of what the guy's saying is like, yo, I don't believe in the stuff that we were doing during that time, man. I'm a different person now and I don't want you to put it out. So I understand that, but at the same time, it's the opposite. It's like, well, I also participate in this, and I want to put it out. You know, it's not like that tug and pull. It's like I can see both sides of the argument, both sides of the coin, and I'm just like, oof, it's a little tough because I understand. Like this is a fire ass record. You know, I want to put it out. The other guy is like, well, I'm not in that part of my life anymore. Don't put it out. So what do? Granted, in this situation, I would argue, Drake, you're such a talented artist. You can make another hit. Just do another one, right? So that's the easy answer. But I was thinking for myself, and like in my realm, I was like, well, what would I do? Like, if I have a fire ass podcast, right? And it's like, and I know it's one of those, like it's a hit, right? Do I not put it out because even though like the other person that's on there maybe not want to do it, but it's this is my podcast and I'm the like I built this shit. It's I pay for everything, I do everything, I get the guests, I do the shit. Like would it ultimately be on my hands? You get me? In that way, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but the way I see it is like it's ultimately my decision. Does that make sense? Like, and maybe that's a bad. I mean, if you want to have a relationship with people, you should always like obviously like this. Like I said, I've edited stuff out. But like, would I not put out the whole episode out? I don't know. Like, you would have to make a compelling argument for me. Does that make sense? Like, even if someone said, "Oh, I've changed," I'm like, "Yeah, you could have changed," but at that moment during that podcast, that's what it was. That's who you were, and we could always like do another podcast. Like, I would say we'll do that podcast, put it out, and we'll do another one where you feel like, yo, that person that I did that. Like something I do agree, some don't agree. I don't know. It's a very tricky situation, but I just went straight to the way I would handle it, and I was like, maybe call me selfish because it's my thing. Like, I would work with you, but I wouldn't just go straight. Like, I wouldn't put on a podcast on. Like, you really have to like make a good argument for me. You get me? I wouldn't just be simply able to see myself like, fuck it. All right, you say so I won't do it. You know? So it's kind of tough. And speaking of being a podcast owner, well, Joe Budden got into it on his podcast. Well, not on his podcast. On his podcast, he had brought up Cardi B, and the reason that Cardi B hadn't put it out an album yet. Since when did Cardi put out her album? Actually, that's a great question. When did Cardi? I think that was like 2017. No, Cardi album. Oh no, 2016. Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B was 2018. 2018 was the last Cardi album. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. It's her first and only album, major release. So he was just saying that part of it is because she's scared. Part of it is because Nicki just put out a great project. Lotto's coming up. Meg, even though she's not a super duper star, she's still like consistently been around. So all that might make her apprehensive to put something out because now it's like, and the more time that he gives it, so the more time that she gives it, the more and more pressure that it will be. So he was just saying that. And then he was like, well, basically, that was it. He was just saying that she's scared of the competition. She's scared of what the reception might be, X, Y, and Z. And then Cardi then decided to go off on Joe Budden on Twitter Spaces. She went in on him, was saying how he has no connection to anybody that she knows, that she's jealous of. He was jealous of Drake. Like, how can you hate on Drake? How can you hate on Drake after everything he's done, and you're just talking shit about him? And then Joe then responded by then saying, what did he say? What did he say? Here you go. Let me find it. That he's the only person that can hate on someone signing a $400 million deal. I'll pay it for you guys right here. Wait, hold on 1 second. Why isn't this bitch playing? 1 sec. All right, I found it.
You quit on your passion. You quit on your passion. I'm not going to quit, bro.
By the way, mind you, she literally created, if you've ever been on Twitter, that you can make spaces. This is called Cardi B Space, so she didn't go on anybody's Twitter space right now. She created this to address what he was saying, and obviously she also brought up Drake and the $400 million deal he has with Universal, apparently.
That's the issue. That's the issue with you. You critique everybody. You critique every single body. And stop being a hater, bro. Stop being a fucking hater. If somebody got $400 million fucking dollars for a deal, and you talk about, yeah, well, they got to tour this, and that. Nigga, I'll fucking tour till I'm 65 if somebody give me $400 million. $400 million you don't have. Stop hating on everybody. Everything that somebody do good, you always hate on it. That's bad. That's terrible. You always hating on something, bro. You always hating on something. You always hating on something. It sets you apart from being a critic from a hater. That's why sometimes I sometimes value academics' point of views because he would say mostly the truth than being a straight up hater. You be a hater. How you hating at a nigga got $400 million? $400 million. I tour till I'm 90, nigga.
So then, obviously, he went to Twitter. He went. Actually, hold up. I'll play you the clip of the reason why Cardi went off on him of this. This was
Big Rob on Friday.
Saw that.
That's gonna be crazy, but that's what Cardi's about to be now. Just a single artist. You're not getting none of that shit.
I mean, you was right too
About what?
about Atlantic wanting to put out an album. You was right. See, you be right sometimes about them wanting to put out an album. We don't care about none of that
I
shit.
ain't spoken to nobody at Atlantic. I'm just be on a hunch. So you done went and got some information from somewhere.
Let me just
I'm sure somebody involved wants Cardi to put out an album.
What?
Of course they do.
I'm sure Offset wants Cardi to put out an album. Hey, fellas out there, boyfriends, y'all know that feeling, right? When you want your bitch to get a job, you in the house, your bitch just won't leave. She just in there on top of you, on top of everything, not giving you space.
Let's cuddle. No.
Yeah, no, get off my arm. My arm sleep. Move. Go. Ain't you got an album to do? Don't you got a single?
So because of that, she then responded with the Drake thing. You've been hating everything. You just hate. Then he decided to say that. What did he say? He decided to say that Cardi did all this because of an album rollout, that she still loves him. That was on Twitter. Drake went to Twitter and he said all that. Then from that, he went to what? Let me see. From that, he went to. From that, what did he do? Oh, then he went to the podcast and he responded again. And now he said this.
You with that.
Since your feelings were being hurt, how did you feel when she said that you quit on music? How did that make you feel? Because I know your passion about your career.
Well, I went through all of these different feelings.
Okay.
And then I went to try to take, I did go and try to take like some leave. I wanted to leave something. Like I did try to, and I tried to take some melatonin, some sleeping pills.
At 1:30 in the morning or afternoon?
No, by this time, because I done went to the barber. I walked in, Clue was in the barber, so back in the car. So at about 6, I tried to go to sleep early when I thought it was done. Third verse. I am positive that there are over 300,000 bars of mine to go out there, listen to, and please be clear, bad. And the digital revolution that we're seeing here.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he pretty much just said. I don't know why the hell is like taking so long. He pretty much said on the podcast that he still loves her, he wants to do the best for her, and he won't talk about her no more. He won't talk about her no more. And that it is what it is. Like, I just won't address you. I'll just say that I love you, and that's it. That I always want the best for you. And it feels that she's just doing it from a standpoint of being a fan. That's all he wanted to get his point across, and that was it. And then that's how he left it. And then after that, I don't believe. Oh no! After that, Cardi didn't say anything to him. He just said, "These bitches have absolutely lost their mind. I'm getting all my lick backs on my album though. One of each one of you bitches." And then she put a single out. I think she did a teaser for a single out, and then she put that. And that one, Cardi was looking. I was saying not looking crazy, but she was out there like damn, like thong and everything. She was out. So I was like, all right, well, you got to promote. I get it. So it is what it is. I was like, damn. Hold on, where is it? I think then she posted it and then he did say, "Oh, you guys using it for the promo." And then I will say that you could use Joe Budden for the promo when it comes to rapping because he's probably the easiest one to go to when it comes to that. Let me see. Where the hell is it? But she was going crazy. No, it's not this one either. Is it this one? No, this is WAP. But I will say there is pressure on Cardi. Regardless whether Joe Budden says or anybody else says it, there is pressure on Cardi. Like, you don't drop a really good album for your first album and then not do anything after that. Like, it's going to be a problem, So that is going to be a thing. Regardless whether Cardi wants to admit it or not, that is. Now, is that good pressure? I mean, it depends how anybody handles pressure. Like, if it's great pressure, then you're gonna be able to do it. If not, well, obviously it's gonna suck ass. But I think Cardi's in a position where, like, I think her problem is gonna be because a single hasn't hit. Like, WAP was a hit, right? Like, WAP was a mega hit, but WAP was a hit for Meg. It wasn't a hit necessarily for Cardi, And obviously you're part of the song, but it's like when you do things like that, it's not gonna be like part of your your album, so it wouldn't be attraction for your album type of thing, right? So I guess that would be the main issue. But I think Cardi's fine. I do agree with what Joe says though. Like the more time you keep giving it, the more expectation is gonna be on it. And at the end of the day, it's like you're only gonna set up yourself a failure because people are gonna have this image or this sound that they want from you or like whatever, right? And that's not the sound they expect you to give them. They're gonna be more disappointed. So I would say I would take all good music, right? So just if I was Cardi, I'd say fuck it, just put it out. But I do think there is more pressure on her because obviously her first album was good, and that's just gonna come with regardless. I don't think does it help that she choose it out faster than later? Maybe not, but I mean it is what it is at this point, you know. But that's the end of the music. So if you guys wanted the music segments, any music topic, that was it. Drake, Joe Budden, and Cardi, that was it. We'll be back next week. I'll bring more, but right now, for the rest of the podcast, it's gonna be about sports and just a little bit about the House of Dragons 2 episodes. But other than that, it's gonna be just about sports. And we have to talk about the great Euro. We're gonna talk about. We can talk about the Copa America. I mean, I already mentioned that what happened in the last one. In the last Copa America, we talked about how they were getting down the Uruguay versus Colombia fans. And then we are going to talk about how Argentina was being racist. And not only were they being racist, people from Argentina, political people, were then obviously being cool with it. They were defending Argentina players being racist. Should we start with the bad or with the good? Bad or good? Now, fuck it. Let's start with the bad because I think Spain deserves their own topic just to talk about how great they are and what they did in X, Y, and Z. But so let's start with Argentina. So now Argentina is, I already told you guys, Messi's trash for getting helped by the refs. That's what his career has been the last couple of years. There's a reason why he kept getting his ass kicked in the Champions League. There's a reason he was getting embarrassed that it was just, he was the laughing stock of Europe. And then in those years where he was paying like shit, out of nowhere, he now wins 2 Copa Americas and World Cup, and common sense would tell you, well, how did the guy who's paying like shit all of a sudden get into all those things? Well, if you have ref help, and when you protect him at a point where like the fans already say Argentina gets help, but the media doesn't. Well, then you get the situation where Copa America, where they win, they're singing a racist ass song, and not only does the only reason why Enzo Fernandez was forced to apologize was because. He was forced to apologize because the fans all saw it and they thought it was disrespectful. Mind you, Argentina beats Colombia in a final, yet they're singing about Argentina. They're singing about France. And actually, I'll play it for you because y'all think I'm lying. But what I will say is this is what the Argentina's vice president, Victoria Villarruel, dijo, no colonist, obviously she speaks Spanish, but this is obviously in English for you guys. No colonist country is going to intimidate us for a football song or for telling the truth that they do not want to admit. Stop feigning indignation, hypocrites, and so I'm with you. This is a political person defending racist songs towards other people. And this is all your fault in the media for not having the balls to tell you that Messi was robbing people from years after years after years, from the Balones de Oro, from the Champions League, from everything, all the crazy shit he was getting away with, but you guys never said shit. This is the culmination of that. These people have so much power, they know that FIFA won't say anything to them. Think about it. When Mexicans say puto in the games, they have everyone go in the middle. They tell them to stop. If you don't stop, I'm going to cancel the game. Cool. Why don't you do that with Argentina? I don't know, but that's for you guys to decide. You have Messi fans that are just cool with it, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Messi Enzo. But Enzo being racist on YouTube is going to come out, Raj. Racist song. Okay. Here we go. This is the song they were playing. Watch. There you go. And then He wrote on his IG, he says, I want to apologize sincerely for a video posted on my Instagram during the national team celebrations. This song includes highly offensive language, and there's absolutely no excuse for these words. I stand against all discrimination in all forms and apologize for getting caught up in the euphoria over our Copa America celebrations. That video, that moment, those words do not reflect my beliefs or my character. I am truly sorry. And then that's what he said, and then all the politicals were like, no, man, why are you apologizing? Like, come on, man, this is just normal shit that we're saying, you know? There's nothing wrong with what you just said. Hold up, let me find it because this is not the part. Let me see. Oh, there you go. So this is the fans also singing it. So you guys don't know like what.
Argentina fans have composed a
There you go.
hymn calling out.
Corra la bola, juegan en Francia pero son todos de Angola. Qué lindo es, van a correr, son cometraba como el puto de Mbappé. Todo llena es nigeriana, su viejo camerún.
Mind you, these are fans singing this, and the guy who's interviewing them is from TYC Sports, which is from an Argentinian national network, and they're playing this. See, so hold up, I'm trying to find it because they keep putting sounds behind it because obviously it's racist. So I get why they're doing it, so it sounds up, but how do I get it so they keep saying it? You know, let me see. I'm gonna try to find it without the fucking so much shit in the back. You get me? Let me see. Find it.
Corra la bola, juegan en Francia pero son todos de Angola. Qué lindo es, van a correr, son cometraba como el puto de Mbappé. Todo llena es nigeriana, su viejo camerún. Bueno. En el documento. Nacionalidad francesa.
Chao, listo, no, censurada, no la banco esa. Acá interviene
He's saying no la banco, which means like I don't approve of this, but obviously he's like he has a smirk and he's laughing. This is on TYC Sports, but I mean it is what it is. Like this is on you guys. Like you guys decided to be let this come out. So now what's the next step? They can rob. They can do this. What? So after robbing is be racism, and we're gonna defend racism. Like this happened. Let's say because obviously I had to wait because of the episode for the House of Dragons and the Drake thing dropped. So I knew it was gonna. So I postponed a little bit slightly. So it's been 2 weeks, or no, like let's say almost 2 weeks, right? Whatever's. Where's the backlash? Where's this uprising of like, oh my god, like Argentinians are being racist? The media's gonna talk shit about what they've been up to, Messi robbing the World Cup, all this and that. Like, where's the uprising? Right? It was never gonna happen. I told you guys let this bullshit keep going over and over again. Now we're surprised at being racist. People are defending it. It's cool, man. This is what you guys wanted, right? At all costs. At all costs, you wanted this guy to win. Well, that's the price you pay. Fuck morals. You guys never had morals. What's the difference? You think this is anything? Y'all cool with it? That's fine, man. Like, y'all don't have to live with it, not my ass. I already told you. I've been said this. Like, all right, cool. I'm not even surprised by this. Once again, the final was Argentina versus Colombia, and now black players from France were being mentioned. Is the media going to talk about it? It's been 2 weeks. You tell me. You come in this podcast and tell me, nah, man, those backlash. I'm not talking about because he said, he apologized because fans got into it. And if you go on Twitter right now, they're like, yo, fam, Argentina robbing. I'm not denying that. Fans have got sick of this shit, and they're like, yo, this is fucking stupid. To the point where, like, this is just beyond fucking dumb. Like, this is just so obvious what they're doing. That's what I want to see from the media. Have you seen it? You tell me. Tell me the channels. I can watch the clip where they talk about it and how this is a serious problem. And I also know what's FIFA going to do about it. Has FIFA got Argentina in trouble? Have they fined him? I'm asking you guys. You're the guys the one that say that I'm the one that's weird. That bringing shit up. So how about you guys talk about it? It's cool, man. You guys stand with people who want to be racist or this and that, man. That's cool. That's on you, man. I'm not. Look, man. My morals are my morals. Your morals are your morals. I'm not here to tell nobody what the fuck to do. Everyone has to live their own life, and everyone has to choose what they want to do with their lives. It's that simple. You get me? It was that simple. It's that simple. But enough of people being racist, because I mean, it is. I mean, that's what Copa America was. Copa America made more headlines for people fighting in the stands, people being racist. Then you talk about the actual soccer. Look how fucking sad that is. That's what the Copa America is. There was more talk about how Uruguay and in the Colombia game were fighting. Players were fighting the fans. Fucking embarrassing. How Argentina, after winning, talk about France being racist and the politics fucking defending it. We never once talked about the actual soccer and how beautiful it was to watch it. Because you know what actually gave us that? That actually gave us that? The fucking Euro. Only on this fucking podcast that I say the Euro was better than all the other fucking tournaments and internationally. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The only person who said it and had the balls to say it was this fucking podcast. Me, Giovanni Ventura, only had the balls to say it. World Cup is trash, only the Euro's good. Well, also did Mbappe. And it was like, oh my God, look at Mbappe. Shut the fuck up. Y'all trash as fuck. Now, pay one more time, because shout out to Spain. Spain fucking won the Euro 2024. They deserved it. Great champions. Great way they played. It was amazing to see them play. It was entertaining to see him play. That's what soccer should be when you think about a sport. Not talking about everything but outside of the fucking sport of what it is. That's the difference. That's the difference. So this intro, to close it off, because obviously it was a great fucking Euro, to have Spain win it, and you're also talking about soccer and how beautiful it was, this intro's for them. And for everyone who loves soccer, who actually enjoys watching this. Well, obviously Spain are the 2024 champions of the Euro. They were great champions. They were the top three teams I had playing the best, which was them, Netherlands, and Germany. They beat Germany on the way to get to the semis? No, in the quarters in order to get to the final. Semis, they beat France. England pissed me off, not because I'm going to say something about England real quickly, and then we'll go back to Spain, because Spain's are the champions. I want to mostly focus on Spain for this topic, obviously for the Euro. But when it comes to England, I will say this. They pissed me off this Euro because they decided to take out one of the best teams that was playing, which is Netherlands, in the semis. That's the only good game that England actually had. Other than that, they did not play good. They also did not play good in the final, and they did what they always did, is not play good for 90 minutes, but individually they were able to create a chance or a goal because of how talented they are, right? They have so much talent on the field that individually that they can able to score. So that's what literally happened during that game. The first half, it was a little back and forth. It was kind of, I want to say boring, but it was a lot of tension. But the ending to the first half was like great. It was like Spain was on their ass, and England had one chance. Overall, I had wrote down here that Spain had two. Then the beginning of the second half, that's what the best part of the game happened, because as soon as the second half started, it picked up where the ending of the first half happened. Nico, within the first 5 minutes, great transition, quick passing. They get them, they score. And then obviously it forced England to now start kind of get their shit together. But I felt the 2-0 was closer than the 1-1, right? And then in a badass individual play setup, obviously he scores 1-1. But then ultimately Spain, who has been overall the better team, kept playing better, and better. They ended up scoring 2-1, and obviously England still had a couple of chances, but the problem with England is always the same thing. Every game they start off losing, every fucking game. And it took for the goal for them to kind of get it going, but a goal always came not from like the team playing well, from an individual person. And this was no different. It was just the same thing over and over again. It was what England showed us this tournament. Now, the reason I'm going to defend England in this is that, yes, this tournament, they didn't play good overall. This generation, right? The last three tournaments, they've all been playing good. And I know this tournament, this specific Euro 2024 tournament, they were one of the favorites. And this is why people would say, oh, England's always one of the favorites, but they always end up choking X, Y, and Z, right? That's always the thing about England. But the reason I keep bringing up England and defending them is this part. This generation of England players, y'all were not behind them or hyping them up to always be one of the favorites to win, right? They had to prove by in 2018 getting to the semis, right? By 2020 of the Euro, they got to the final. 2022, the World Cup, they got to the semis. And this Euro, they got to the final. Like, even though this generation has been consistent in the semis or finals of major tournaments, you guys have never supported them like the 2002 with David Beckham, 2006 with Lampard, with Scholes, with Rooney, with Gerrard. Like, there's been better teams like before the tournament starts that you guys were like, oh, England's one of the favorites. This team had to prove in the sense of like to be one of the favorites, and yeah, obviously still haven't won. So that's why I can't like have people talk so much shit about them, because I'm like, all right, fam, like I get what you guys think about England, but England had to like move their way into a position like this generation. I'm talking about this specific generation of England players had to play and put this in a position for you to recognize them. All the ones, they weren't in that position. They were already like, no, just because of the talent alone, they just said one of the favorites. This team did not have that. They had talent, and you guys never had that one of the favorites, right? So that's the reason I can't be too hard on them. Obviously, yes. Do I have that critiques about England? Yes, because this tournament, they did not play good overall. This is the first tournament they did not play good. Out of the last four, this generation has played 4 tournaments together. This is the only one they hadn't played good, and they got to the final still. And I just more frustrated with them because they took out Netherlands, and Netherlands was playing so good at the time. That's what mostly pissed me off. That you took a team that was playing so good, and I feel like that easily would have been the best final. I wrote it down in my notebook, and I told you guys. The best final would have been Netherlands versus Spain. That would have been the best final to watch, right? And the game was still good, and it didn't. It was like lackluster, but I just think it could have been even a better final. You get what I'm saying? So that's just the selfishness of me being a fan of watching the sport, you know? Now, getting back to Spain, because obviously they're the team we're supposed to talk about, not anybody else. What Spain was, I was talking to my brother, I think what's awesome about Spain is they're one of those teams where not only were they like amazing to watch play, it's one of those few times where watching the team that plays the best wins, right? A lot of times in soccer that doesn't happen, right? In other sports, it feel like it does happen a lot. Like most of the time, the team that plays the best, like whether it be the Warriors or like basketball or like the Patriots with the Brady or things like that. Most times, like the ones that play the best win, right? With soccer's never been a thing, so we're talking about like, well, let's think about it. When's the last time you felt that this was a thing, right? Like, that you saw the best team win, and I was saying, well, this was for me. This year will be them. I would say, obviously, Spain's golden generation of 2008, 2010, and 2012. They were the favorites. They won. They played the best. Okay, cool. That was them. Obviously, like, same thing. Barcelona 2011. They were the best team to watch, and they won. Manchester City, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, not the one Real Madrid just won. The one before that. They played the best. And they obviously they won. Bayern Munich 20. What was that pandemic year? I think it was 2020. Well, Lewandowski, Alaba. The year they beat Messi 8-2. That one they played the best and they won. That was them easily. I would say what else? I would say Real Madrid, the Zidane second year when they beat Juventus 4-1. They played the best, and I also think they won. So it's very rare. Like this is a rarefied air where they play the best and they win. It's very rare. So I thought that was probably the best part, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, the fact that they were able to do that, I was like, okay. So now at least it's like, now we kind of get like, I don't know, like you kind of see where everything is. You're just like, oh, this is pretty dope. Like it's what's it called? It's cool to see how like, I don't know how to explain it. How a generation, because mind you, like Spain went through a thing. Obviously, I just said 2012, right? But 2014 was horrible. It was the same generation. They had to move on. They lose, but that was the same generation from 2012. Okay, cool, right? Well, the golden era 2010. Then they kind of come back 2018, but then the whole scandal of the coach getting the job at Real Madrid, he gets fired at the World Cup. So then that becomes a thing, right? So it's that. And then, let me see, 2022. Oh, 2022, they play good, but what happened with that one? I think that one where they fuck up was, they just lose some Morecos on penalties, but they weren't playing that good. They weren't. It's just called spade a spade. They were not playing that good, right? So then they had to get rid of everybody. Now, like, think about it. The team of Spain, like, most of these guys are super young. Like, the only old guy would be Rodri, which is if he obviously won best player of the tournament, which is obvious fuck, but he obviously is the best 5. That's like without question. Rolly wins best 5. Yamal wins the best youngster. I think now for La Balón de Oro, I think Rolly's super in that position. Carvajal would be super high in that position. Vinicius was super high in that position. Bellingham could be super high in that position too. But most of these guys are really young players. Like Olmo's obviously in let me see, Olmo, let me see, bro. Team. Where the fuck you go for special? Team 2024. How do you go to 2024 lineup? Let me see. Because I was trying to look at it, and I'm like, there's no old. There's like all the guys are young. Spain 2024. Let me see. Okay, I found him. Okay, yeah, it's Carvajal, Nacho, which I guess Nacho was the old one. Nacho's 34. Carvajal's 32. He's still got like 2 more 3 years. Like he gets the next World Cup is what I'm trying to say. Let me see. Yeah, Gavi. Yeah, no, everyone here is the oldest one is Morata's 31, but by the World Cup you beat 33, almost 26. Yamal is 17, Nico's 22, Ferran Torres 24, almost 26. Fabian is 28, Cucurella's 26, Laporte's 30, 28. Yeah, like Oleg is gonna be here. Oleg is gonna be here for a while. Oh yeah. You guys will be here for a while. Wow. Rodri 28. Yeah, no. So they have like a good what I'm trying to say is they're gonna have a good World Cup, and then most of these guys will be there for the next Euro. So they got a good window here where like, you're gonna see them be like one of the favorites, if not the favorite. Not because they won the Euro, but the way they play, they have a lot of young stars. And who knows if you get another star coming up, right? Another guy who's hot during that time. So I will be seeing them. Granted, if the FIFA doesn't just want Messi to win and just rob everybody, then obviously I do think they have a strong chance to win the what's it called? The World Cup. Like, if you're going by how someone plays, and then talent-wise, Spain has no one to look down on, right? I think only France probably has more talent, but that's one team. Like England's super talented, but so is Spain. Like Spain's up there and they play well, So I think they're gonna be one of the favorites to look, So that's actually very interesting. So shout out to Spain. You guys did what you got to do. You dominated. You were great. In general, there was no even debate if you were one of the best teams. Like you were the best team to watch, and you end up winning, and you beat four World Cup champions on your road to win the Euro. You beat Italy, they beat Germany, they beat France, and they beat England. 4 World Cup champions. That's how you win a motherfucking Euro. Not like Argentina, not like Messi, who they give you penalties, just hand you something. No, you got to go earn it. And for Spain to earn it by playing the best and beating the best, that's fucking respect. That's fucking respect. And I will always acknowledge them for that, give them credit for that, because that's the best thing ever. When you do that type of shit, that's my respect for somebody. Right there. Not the Argentina shit where you're being racist, they're defending you, you're robbing, they're defending you, and all that whack, lame shit. No. Do it the way Spain did it. Being the best, beating the best, and being remembered as one of the best. And in the next podcast, we're going to talk about that too. The fact that this trash-ass Argentina winning 3 in a row will now be compared to the golden age of the Spain players being 3 in a row. And we're going to compare position for position, player by player, and see how fucking stupid and obvious as fuck this shit was about what the FIFA was trying to do. Oh, don't worry, we're going to get to it. That's the next motherfucking episode. That's a tease for another fucking episode. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's just coming. But anyways, well, speaking of Spain, La Liga's about to start soon, like in a month or a month and a half. And Mbappé tied Cristiano Ronaldo's record for having the most attendance in a presentation. Mbappé is now here, the best player in the world, arguably the best player in the world, if not top 3. And he is now here with Real Madrid. Now the question is, how much are they going to win? What are the expectations for Real Madrid? How are they going to feel about Real Madrid? All those questions are all valid. And now it's just to see the individual. Will you be able to live up to the hype? I mean, I said it before. We get more into it when we start playing. I'll start analyzing more him. Obviously, I just want to bring to just the fact that when he's here officially, he tied the record for Ronaldo's presentation. But like I said before, it's like you're going to a team who's won 2 Champions League without you. Not talking about in history. I'm talking about this specific team you're going to has won 2 Champions League without you. And how does that dynamic work? You know, how does that dynamic work now that it's like that? So that I'm very interested in. Mbappe is here, though, to Real Madrid, the greatest club in history of soccer. And that is all for sports. We did the music. We did the sports. Last, but certainly not least, and I'm saying this because I am always right when it comes to certain things, but I did tell you guys that House of Dragons, it was all the setup, the episode 3, the way it ended, all for episode 4, right? And we're going to talk about episode 4, and we're going to talk about episode 5. Y'all were looking at me like, why would you say this? Does it make any sense? X, Y, and Z. You know, I was like, it's just certain things. Like, how could you see that? It's just, even if you're not a fan like of a show, because obviously I can be like, oh, because I read the books, and in the books, after this event is when the quote-unquote fight happened, right? And obviously spoilers. If you guys don't know, spoilers. But no, it's just, I can appreciate how way things are like filmed, the way things are, the storytelling is going. So when I see certain things, I'm like, oh, okay, because you left off on cliffhanger 3 and the way you're setting it up, the next episode, you're going to go all out with the battle, and you haven't really spent too much money on like battle scenes yet. You could just tell, you know? So that's what I knew. And obviously, if you guys don't know, we're getting into House of Dragons, Season 2, Episode 4, and Episode 5, which is there a lot to talk about. Let me bring it back one more time. Shout out to House Targaryen. You know where we are at. We're on the black side. You know, you guys can hate on Game of Thrones the way it ended, but this is still one of the best intros to a show. Obviously, this is House of Dragons, not Game of Thrones, but same composer, same song. It's just different visuals when you see it. This is a great fucking song. But obviously, we got to talk about the dance of the dragons. The dragons heard around the world. We have to. And obviously, with the setup the way it was just set up. It was pretty much that Rhaenys was going to go fight for House Black. It was going to come at a price. And obviously, the big showdown between Vhagar and... What is it? Vhagar and... No, not Craxus. No. Hold up. Ray... Hold up. Wait, hold up. What the fuck? What's the name of the dragon? Oh, Meraxes. Okay. So Rhaenys and Meraxes. So obviously, Colt had set up a plan to get the dragons out, right? But the problem was they didn't expect for the king himself, King Aegon, to go to the battle. When that happened, Aemon obviously purposely was like, you know what, I'm not gonna help out. So he let Rhaenys and King Aegon just fight each other, right? They're fighting each other. Then he comes out and he screams Drogon, and then he hits them with the fire. When he does that, though, he fucks up his brother. And the way it's shot, you remember when I told you guys the way season 1 ended? Like, you can tell Vhagar made his own decision when he went to go kill the cousin that started off the war, but you can see through his facial expression. Here, they purposely do this thing where when he calls out for Drogon to throw the fire, So he's a casualty. It's almost done on purpose. Like he wanted to kill two birds with one stone. He wanted to get Rhaenys and he wanted to get Aegon, but he doesn't. And since he doesn't get Aegon, Aemon is kind of like, what the fuck? Kind of mad. And then all you see is him go all the way to the floor and he crashes down. I always tell people this. If they don't show you him dead, don't assume he's dead. Like, you have to legit see it, right? And obviously, Rhaenys is obviously like they've been fighting, and obviously, Sir Kristen Cole was just like, "Yo, fam, this is." They did a great job in setting it up where, like, yes, this is Targaryen versus Targaryen. Yes, this is battle versus human, but this Targaryen war really was based upon dragons and the power of them having dragons. If that makes sense, like Game of Thrones. Well, if you've seen Game of Thrones, yeah, obviously, Daenerys has 3 dragons. But every battle, it's very like, would be the Thraki versus whatever, the North, or whatever, right? King's Landing, Lannisters, whatever. It was always human versus human. But this was the first time where they purposely show you shots of like them looking to the sky, and like it doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what's happening on the floor, right? On the battlefield. What matters is happening in the sky. Like you can tell that is what's at stake. Does that make sense? Like, yes, we're gonna fight the shit out of each other. We're gonna obviously get into it back and forth, right? I have my people I support, your support, cool, we're gonna fight. But really, they really showed you how, like, at the end of the day, this is about the dragons. And who has the power of the dragons and who's able to utilize their dragons better. And this was very, 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 very specific in this episode and the setup of the 5th episode. And I'm glad I first time I usually do episode to episode, but I'm glad I'm doing 2 in 1. Except for the last episode, episode 8 we'll just focus on the season finale. We'll do that just on its own. Because the battle's happening, but at one point, everyone's just looking up at the dragons, and because first when Rhaenys comes in, she's just burning everything. Right, this is before King Aegon even gets to the battle. He's just burnt, like she's just burning everybody. Like you could tell, like this is a serious problem. Then obviously, Christian Cole and Aemon had it prepared, and Vhagar's there. He tells Vhagar to chill. King Aegon keeps fighting, and then all hell breaks loose. Then they all start fighting. Obviously. 2 and 1, she doesn't get Rhaenys, and they keep fighting, right? And they're fighting, and he gets Vhagar. Vhagar's obviously the biggest dragon. If I'm correct, Vhagar's the biggest dragon. After that is the one that Daemon has, which is Caraxes. Then it's Rhaenys. So the fact that Vhagar is able to take out Rhaenys' dragon, that was big, right? And it's once again, you just have to pay attention to the way things are shot, the way the director wants you to see them. As soon as like they got in a big scuffle, boom, they hit each other, they get separated, right? Christian Cole is on the floor, like he knows what the fuck's going on. A big battle just happened, and then you see just Rhaenys look at Caraxes. I mean, sorry, fuck, what's his name? Maurice Marax. What's his name of the dragon? Yeah, Maraxes, and he just looks at him, and she gives him that look like, no, like this is it. Like if we die, we're gonna die together, and this is just what we have to do. So she gets back into battle, and when she's about to go over the cliff of the castle, that's when Aemon comes out with Vhagar, and Vhagar grabs Maraxes by the neck. He slits it, and then obviously he falls, he dies, and then Rhaenys falls to her death, and then the dragon falls on top of her. Obviously, she's dead. They make it clear she's dead because they say it. Then at the end of the 4th episode, you see Aemon go to where King Aegon had crashed with his dragon. He thinks he's dead, but he's not. But Christian Cole walks up to him. But the thing is, if you're paying close attention, Aemon has his knife out. I don't know if he was doing that so just to make sure he was dead so he could take over, right, as the king. But before he could do so, Christian Cole gets there and he's like, "Where's your brother?" And he just points, he's over there, and he walks away. And then he's obviously like falls to his knees, like, "Oh shit, is he dead? I don't know." And that's how it ends. Great way to end an episode. great suspense. Episode 5 enters. We find out King Aegon is alive. Relatively. Obviously, he's in a horrible condition. He can't be the king no more. So now it forces Aemon to be the one in charge. Alicent is doing everything possible to fight against that. She doesn't want her son to be in charge because she's like, fuck this. If he's in charge, like, there's no controlling him. Christian Cole says the same thing. Like, why are we even debating this? Just put him in charge. Everyone, like, there's 2 people saying, no, we shouldn't put him because Aemon is just out here for blood, right? As much as Aegon was bad, at least Aegon was always, like, drinking, being stupid. Like, he was easier to control. Aemon, you cannot control. And Alicent knows that, right? So they're doing everything possible throughout the whole, pretty much half of the episode to not get Aemon to be the guy, the king, because, you know, Aegon will come back. And at that point, it's like, well, until he comes back, we can't let this war keep going. So Aemon is now the new king for the High Towers, for the green side. Rhaenyra's like, yo, I lost my best dragon. Well, second best dragon. Daemon's over here. After I told him to fuck off in the episode 3, he's doing his own thing. I don't even know he's even support me. So the only best dragon I have is mine. I gotta go fight. The son Jacaerys is saying, no, you can't go fight. I gotta go find more people to go on your side, right? And Rhaenyra's like, no, I gotta fight. Like, I can't just be sitting here. Like, we did enough. Like, we asked enough people, and it is what it is. Well, Jacaerys is like, well, we gotta figure something else out. And that's all the setup of the dragons. Right? I keep saying the dragons. Now, dragons only are gonna accept Targaryens to be able to ride them. Doesn't mean they won't kill a Targaryen, as they pretty much are hinting already. Like, just because, like, remember when he was a child, Aemon got Vhagar? It wasn't easy. Like, he legit had to, like, fight for Vhagar, right? For him to be, like, accepting him to ride him. So it's not just like easy, like, oh yeah, cool. You want to be my rider? Cool. I'm gonna say yes. It's not how that works. Like, you have to legit fight for him to be, like, you know, like your quote unquote rider. So then it's hinted at where she goes, well, what if Jacaerys goes, well, what if we get half blood, like, you know, like bastards, pretty much, like a half blood, like, pretty much, what a bastard, if you guys don't know, it's like your mom and your dad are together. Your dad cheats on your mom with the girl. Well, that son, if he has a son, his name a bastard, and obviously he still has Targaryen blood. She says, well, we have a lot of dragons, and if we can convince other Targaryens, like half Targaryens, to ride for us, then that's gonna help us out in the war. And that's how that episode ends. Granted, is it the most, like, moral thing to do? No. But it's also, it's like we're at this point where we're doing what we have to do to win the war, right? Daemon with all the killing of Blood and Cheese, killing one of the kids. Like, that's where the point we're setting up now. Where episode 5 ends, we only have 3 episodes left. We're really getting to that point where they're trying to set up, like, season 2 for me is like not the all-out war. I feel like that's more season 3 type of thing. But season 2 is like, we're doing everything possible. Like, if we got to get nitty and gritty, we're going to do it. If we got to fend for ourselves, we're going to do it. Like, we got to do everything possible to win this war, right? At all costs. And that's kind of where it's setting up. Like, they're really honing down, like, the Dance of the Dragons as, like, the book, right? Fire and Blood, the Dance of the Dragons. Like, because it really is what it is. Like, if you don't have the dragons on your side, this shit will not benefit you. And it's very that simple, because you can have the bigger army, but if you have the better dragon, and that's what, so far, what the Greenhouse has, the High Towers, is like, they have Vhagar, which is the biggest dragon. If Daemon goes with the nearest side, then yes, they have a formidable chance to beat him, because once you take him out, then you're really going to fuck him over, right? So that's what we have to, like, just see, like, all right, well, what the fuck's going to happen, you know? But overall, it's been great episodes. I'm telling you, it's going to pick up. I told you the first 3 episodes were a little slow burner, but 4 picked up. 5, I know it wasn't the most interesting when it comes to, like, action, but 5 is setting up once again for 6 and 7 and 8, right? Which you're going to see the next step, which is already even more fighting. And now you're going to see, hopefully, Rhaenyra have more people be able to ride their dragons. And then it's like, oh, well, now we're all go, you know? She has to protect her own and her own claim to the throne. But what I'm trying to say is this season has been really good. Overall, would I say it's as good as season 1? I don't know. We have to talk about that maybe by the end. But I've really enjoyed this season so far. Aemon is still one of my favorites from the. That's what I think about this show is that I like both from both sides. Like, I like Damian, even though right now he's being an asshole to Rhaenyra. I still fuck with him. I fuck with Aemon, who's not on the side, because I'm on the black side. I like Rhaenyra a lot. I did like Rhaenys. The kids, not really. I'm not really a big fan of Jacaerys or Aegon. But that's because they haven't done a really good job with them, to be honest, to exploring their character more. It's just very, like, almost like what the story needs, they're just going to push it, right? Like, if Aegon needs to act a certain way, he's going to go there, you know? So, but overall, great show, man. I enjoy coming back. I know I've been gone. I told you guys last week that I was going to go on a Vegas trip. Well, I am going to go. It's already for sure planned. So I'll be talking about that on the next episode. I'm going to say everything I do in motherfucking Vegas, all the cool shit, all the things I want to do, things I'm going to do. But yeah, I'm glad you guys came back to be with me another episode. I love you guys. I'm glad you guys can support. I know I keep saying the visual. I guarantee you the visual's coming. It's just, if you guys would only know the shit that I've been going through, it's been crazy. But you guys are my number one priority. I will always be here. Love you guys. This is, once again, the Jovany Ventura Show. This is episode... What episode is this? 32? Yeah, episode 32. As Drake says... Actually, I didn't want to close out with that song. That song was fire. As Drake says, if you're drinking tonight, drink some more. If you're smoking tonight, smoke some more. And if you're fucking tonight, fuck some more. And remember, this is Healing Gordo featuring Drake. It's on all your DSPs. We'll be talking about the new songs. If Super Soak, you can't stream it, but I'm telling you, some new music, Drake's coming. I guarantee you. This is Healing, Gordo, Drake. It's summer vibes. I love you guys. We out. Hey. Oh, man. Being able to just drink in the fucking beach with the beautiful girl next to you. Try it sometime, people. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Let's get it. Oh.
I came out tonight and I wanna go home. I'd rather spend some time on my own. I can't stand small talk. Nobody's real. I look okay, but that's just not how I feel. I said some things I should have said more. My words weren't right. Your jaw hit the floor. I wish I said what I thought I said before.
What I thought I said before. All right, guys, we out.